Militarism, the M in mania, was a prominent factor in the start of the First World War. The draft in many countries required and promoted the mass enrollment in the army of normal male civilians. They were usually trained and armed, with the exception of Russia, into large permanent armies to be deployed. This would consequently wipe out almost a whole generation of men because of the deadly mix of old tactics and new advanced weaponry. Due to the mistrust and paranoia between European leaders, the states would rapidly build up armies and weaponry. Each army was run by the state in contrast to the mercenaries that were hired in past wars, and had millions of nationalist troops waiting to be used, which also helped inflate the death toll. Also, new technology was designed and largely needed for deadlier warfare. Poison gas, machine guns, and tanks were only some of the new advancements for war that rose up in this time period. This availability of arms gave the powers the possibility for more destructive actions. Alliances led to the whole world's involvement in the conflict. These alliances were also caused by the fear and mistrust between European powers. One significant alliance was the blank check agreement between Germany and Austria regarding Serbian aggression. Germany proclaimed that they would support any actions taken by the Austrians, even if it involved military action and eventually war. They became best friends forever. Well, temporarily, I guess, when we're talking about history. Nationalism was the increased pride and belief in one's country. Many citizens felt that their respective nations were superior or deserved independence. One significant example of nationalism is comprised by the German unification. By Otto von Bismarck's military expansions, he was able to create a unified German state under Prussia. This became known as the Second Reich. Italian unification also happened in this time period. It was led by Camillo Cavour and Giuseppe Garibaldi. Italy became another political entity to be reckoned with. Every nation had their separate prides in themselves and hatred for everyone else. Many European nations sought to expand their empires in the latter half of the 1800s by influencing territories abroad through imperialism. For example, the scramble for Africa, the conflicts to imperialize Africa, pitted states against each other. States such as Great Britain, Belgium, and France fought with one another over land and resources. This ended up splitting Africa into many arbitrated domains. Along with imperialism came the discovery of new products such as rubber, oil, and diamonds. The most significant figure was Cecil Rhodes, who is said to have dominated Africa with his claimed discovery of diamonds. This began the huge diamond boom, which would spread throughout the world. The Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885, also known as the Congo Conference, regulated European colonization and trade in Africa during the new imperialism period, and coincided with Germany's sudden emergence as an imperial power. This meeting, which was attended by many representatives from countries such as Belgium, Germany, and France, is seen as the formalization of the scramble for Africa, and was organized by Otto von Bismarck. The assassination of Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand was what sparked the war. This attack was formulated by the Black Hand, a Serbian nationalist group. These terrorists decided against using lightsabers as their form of attack, to the demise of Darth Vader, and settled for the less outrageous weapon of grenades and handguns. The attack was to take place during a processional through Sarajevo, Bosnia, in which Franz Ferdinand was riding in a topless car with his wife Sophie. There were 6 attackers set up at different points in the processional, which was pre-planned because the schedule for Franz's travel was posted beforehand. Really stupid move. Although there were many attackers, 2 of the planned bombings went unfinished. Both of these terrorists wimped out and left the scene. There was one actual bombing, but it was still unsuccessful. The bomber threw the grenade, which bounced off the cloth top of Franz's vehicle and landed in time to blow up the next vehicle in the processional. Franz and Sophie sped away. This attacker attempted suicide but was ultimately caught, beaten, and arrested. After the failed bombing, the young Black Hand member, Gavril Principe, was outside a restaurant when, by some weird luck, Franz's car pulled up next to him. He pulled out his gun and fatally shot Franz in the neck and Sophie in the abdomen.
What kind of place is this?
Once the assassination was discovered by the Austrian officials, an ultimatum was sent out to Serbia. The agreement was composed of many items, all agreed to by Serbia, except for one. They refused to let Austrian detectives investigate the assassination. This was what enraged Austria to declare war on Serbia, followed by Germany because of the blank check agreement. All the tension was set off by the assassination, and the whole world sparked into conflict. Total war meant the civilians, not just the troops on the war front, were afflicted. The people at home had to give up many common goods in order to send out food to the troops. This was known as rationing. Many people had to make their own goods and send them to the war front trenches as well. There were many forms of propaganda circulating in this time period in order to get people to join the war effort to keep the battle going. War bonds were an effective way to get money right to the war, which would supposedly be paid back. All of this led to the first war attrition the world had ever seen. It became a fight based on who can outsupply the others, and thus would last for 4 years, killing millions in the process.
I haven't learned a thing.
You okay there?
Yeah.
Run! Go, Kanai. Do I have to?
Yeah.